For those who have missed the 2025 Las Vegas Grand Prix, I will give you the quick updates. Max Verstappen won, and both of the McLaren drivers got disqualified. I partied a lot that night, got drunk, that's why my voice is fucked up. And now Verstappen is 24 points behind the championship leader Lando Norris with two races to go, namely Qatar and Abu Dhabi. You may not be able to see it properly because the way the screen is cropped. But two more races to go. Verstappen is 24 points behind Lando Norris, who is the current championship leader, and he's dead even on points with Oscar Piastri. And the biggest thing that I want to say is that we are going to win our fifth Drivers' World title in a row. We will do it in the most magnificent way possible. All of the Lando Norris and McLaren Dick riders are gonna get cooked, and it's gonna happen in the next two races. And I have it on authority because for the next remaining two races, namely Qatar and Abu Dhabi, the Red Bull of Max Verstappen is going to be faster than both of the McLaren drivers. Again, I sound like a whore. My voice sounds like a fucking hoe. But either way, we have to make do, ladies and gentlemen. And the point that I'm trying to make is written in this article, which was published right after the 2025 Brazilian Grand Prix. According to the report by the FIA, some teams were using the skid blocks that would expand and which protected the plank from being worn out too much during the race. So underneath in the underbody of the car, as you can see in this picture right here, the skid plank generates sparks when it rubs across the tarmac, and the way to navigate that is to, have the ride height at least on a bare minimum level so that it doesn't wear off that much so that the car gets disqualified. Some teams have found out an illegal trick, and the illegal trick is that the mounting block for this plank which gets rubbed off, they designed it in material that expand when they are heated, and this allows them to sit lower than the plank. It extends the block over the plank, and the plank is protected from excessive wear and tear. And this happened. FIA got the wind of this. FIA closed this loophole after the Brazilian Grand Prix. And seems to me that the first team that got fucked by this rule, that got affected by this rule visibly, immediately, explicitly, are McLaren Racing. I might be wrong, but we are never wrong because we are on our way to win our fifth Drivers' World title. Is gonna happen. I wasn't a believer at the beginning of the Las Vegas weekend. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Brazil was, after the Brazilian Grand Prix, it looked like Lando Norris had it under control. He was performing on a phenomenal level, and all the massive credit to him. The McLaren and Lando Norris Dick riders do have a point. Lando Norris is, for the last few races, if you look at it, he has been quietly building it up, and since Mexico, dude's been on fire. Oscar Piastri, the stress is kind of getting to him. His driving style is not really working out well. But Lando Norris is cooking. You gotta admit that. Even in Vegas, where he got disqualified, he had a pretty decent race. And after Brazil, where he won, Verstappen had a phenomenal drive from pit lane to P3. All of those things aside, it still looked like Lando Norris was going to win the 2025 Drivers' World Championship. I stopped believing for a second that, 3 races remaining, Lando is 49 points ahead of Verstappen at the time, like right after the Brazilian Grand Prix. 49 points in 3 races. the only way it's gonna happen if Lando Norris gets 0 points in 2 Grand Prix, and those 2 Grand Prix should be won by Verstappen. It seems like it's gonna happen now because right now, as I mentioned, based on this illegal trick information, that the FIA discovered that the skid blocks were designed with parts that expand when they heat it, and they will protect the plank, and the teams will put the car ride height as low as possible without worrying about the disqualification issues, getting the maximum performances. And after that loophole has been closed, the first team to get nerfed are these two motherfuckers. So it is a plausible prediction that for the remaining 2 races in the Middle East, namely Qatar and Abu Dhabi, the mighty McLarens may not be as mighty as they have been in the initial stages of the season. And judging by Verstappen and Red Bull's form since Brazil Grand Prix, the main race, they have been on it. The Brazilian sprint was kind of weird. We didn't perform the way we could have, but after that, we and the team got back and we decided to trust the driver more, and now we are back on track. The dominance in Las Vegas. Max Verstappen had the fastest lap of the race on the final lap of the race. He was still pushing. This is vintage. This is vintage Max Verstappen. And now, the only thing McLaren engineers are going to do is they have been caught, basically. They need to go and increase the ride height of their car, which means that they're not going to be as fast. Now, obviously, I may be wrong, but there's only one way to find out for sure when we get to Qatar. And we will know that the trick that McLaren boys have been using, which was using skid blocks that expand when it heats, is not going to work anymore. Their performance advantage is going to go because they have to run the car a little bit higher. And this gives us extremely good chance for Max Verstappen, us, to win the remaining Grand Prix. So this is what's gonna happen. You know, if I genuinely think about it, like this is how it can happen. In the Qatar Grand Prix weekend, there's a sprint race. Then in Qatar, there's the main race. Then in Abu Dhabi, obviously it's the season finale, right? There's only one race there. What will happen is Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. Lando Norris in particular, let's talk about him. He has been on form, but he's going to make a mistake, an uncharacteristic mistake, which will be circumstantial in Qatar. In the sprint qualifying session, he will not have a good result. But Max Verstappen will stick it on pole. Then, in the sprint race, Lando Norris will try desperately to claw through the field. He will get caught in the midfield battle by people like, Bearman and Lawson, the crash-prone dudes. Alexander Albon, unfortunately, he's still kind of crash-prone. I mean, he doesn't initiate them, a lot of them, but, Gabriel Bortoleto, since the recent couple of races, has been, the Al-Qaeda guy. So Lando Norris, because of circumstantial situations, he won't qualify well for the sprint race in the Qatar Grand Prix. Because of that, he will, as he is making his way through the field in Qatar, let me just show Lando, as he will be making his way through the Qatar sprint race, he will get into some collision, and that will be his race done. DNF. Verstappen wins, 8 points in the back, boom, now the gap is 16 points. But I'm not done. Because of the amount of damage on Lando Norris's car in the Qatar sprint race, he won't be able to make it into qualifying in time, which means he's going to start from the back of the grid or the pit lane. Unfortunate, but happens. Then Verstappen will obviously be on pole, Oscar Piastri P2, or maybe Oscar Piastri on pole and Verstappen P2. Qatar isn't Piastri track, and even though my prediction says that the McLaren will not be as fast, even if you want to give the benefit of doubt of putting Oscar Piastri on the front row, you can. But Verstappen is going to beat him in the main race, so it doesn't really matter in the end. But Lando is going to recover well. They're going to put a brand new engine on the back of his car, and he is going to go through everybody. He'll finish like P6 or something, P5, 10 points away from Verstappen. Verstappen will win with 25 points. Now the gap is at 6 points going into the final race in Abu Dhabi. This is what's going to happen. I'm telling you guys. All right, we need to believe. We have believed so far. That's why we are here. We are still in this motherfucking fight. Nobody predicted this. Nobody predicted that Vegas double disqualification of McLaren will happen. This is a crazy season. We saw double disqualification of Ferrari in China. We got a double disqualification for McLaren in Vegas. Insane. Unbelievable. So, after the Qatar Grand Prix, Norris will only have a 6-point advantage over Max Verstappen because of all of the shenanigans I just explained. Now in Abu Dhabi, this is the critical one, because in Abu Dhabi, whoever wins the race wins the championship. Because Oscar Piastri will be within touch and go distance of Verstappen, so he will be like 3 or 4 points behind him at most, because he is right now dead even on points. So Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, whoever wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix will win the World Championship. And I like our chances because, like I mentioned, it seems to me that the illegal trick used by the McLaren boys is now out in the open, which means they are not going to be as fast as they used to be. Even in Vegas, they were quick. And I don't think that pace is going to be there, and they will lose points to the Mercedes drivers. And Kimi Antonelli is on fire right now, so we'll see it. So we'll see how many points these guys lose to them. So yeah, right now things are looking great for us. We are just 2 race weekends away from clinching our 5th world title. We did this. Our relentless belief has yielded us some good result. This is the only positive thing that I'm actually looking forward to this entire season, through this entire year, if I'm being honest. It's kind of sad that it is the case. It's kind of sad that I spend a lot of time and energy thinking about this, but this is gonna happen. This is our year, and we will win our 5th consecutive world title after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.